Hey guys, it's Omen Drummer, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a review of my sound desk. This desk, as you can see, is the Behringer XENYX X2442USB, and so yeah, as you can tell from that, it calls itself a 24 input mixer, which technically is true, but it doesn't have 24 channels. So I'll just quickly go through with you where Behringer decided that they'd call it the 24 channel desk. So first off, you've got obviously all your regular channels. So these are mono channels. You've got 1 through 8 of just mono channels that have XLR inputs at the top. So that's all of those up there up to channel 8. So yeah, then you've got channels 9 and 10 and 11 and 12, which also have XLR inputs, but they also have these line input levels left and right, so you can use these two as stereo channels. So that's nice that it's got them. And then on top of that, it's got channels 13, 14 and 15, 16 as 2 more stereo channels, which only have the line inputs. They don't have the XLR inputs. So that takes the total count up to 16 inputs, which obviously, as you can tell, is not 24. So where it gets its name for the 24 channel desk is these stereo aux returns it's got up here. So doesn't seem to be very focused, but effectively what you've got here is 4 returns for your 4 aux sends, and these are stereo. So Behringer, basically their way of seeing this is that this is effectively channel 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that brings the total channel count up to 24 channels, which of course effectively you could use them like that, but I mean it's a bit misleading in its name. I mean it's only actually got 10 mic inputs, and then it's only actually got 12 physical channel strips. So yeah, so that's just a little thing to bear in mind if you're thinking about getting this. It will not take 24 straight in mics on their own channel or anything like that. So yeah, it's not that sort of large format mixer. So where the rest of that name comes from, the 2442, what that means is obviously it's got its 24 channels, what it thinks is 24 channels, which then go into 4 subgroups here. So that's the 24/4, and then into 2, which is the main output, which is stereo obviously, so that's out of 2, so that's 24 into 4 into 2, and then the USB bit comes because you can actually connect this via USB to, say, your computer, and then either record from it or bring audio back in through it. So I'm just going to go over the channels fairly briefly here. Obviously if you know much about sound desks, you can probably just read the specs offline, and it'll tell you pretty much everything you want to know. So, but if you're a bit more of a beginner, I'll go through what it's got here. So, at the top you've got your XLR input, which is the Behringer XENYX mic preamp. These are actually surprisingly good. I was not expecting them to be anywhere near as good as they actually are. And then you've got your balanced or unbalanced line input here, and then your insert in, or well, that's just in there. So then when you come down onto your channel, all your effects and everything for the channel strip, you'll see that all the different knobs and everything, they're all in a different colour, and this is actually very helpful to help you move around the desk. So the first one you come to is this white knob up here, and now these all feel very good quality after having this for a year and using it the majority, like at least 3 or 4 times a week. These all feel very good quality. So the first thing we've got is just a gain knob. So this goes from plus 10 all the way up to plus 60 dB. So basically these XENYX preamps will pretty much take anything you can throw at them without question. So that's nice. You've then also got a low cut filter, which I believe is fixed at 80 Hertz. I'm not quite sure about that though, I can't see it written anywhere, but I think that's what it is, correct me if I'm wrong. Then the next thing you've got is this sort of, well, it's a shade of blue, but it's different to the other shades of blue, so a blue knob, which is actually an inbuilt compressor, which is a very nice feature that they've put in here, but I mean, it doesn't have any parameters or anything that you can change, so it's not really that usable. Obviously, like, it's nice to be able to just bring in a bit of compression, but it's not like, you can't set, like, well, obviously it's a fixed compressor, so all you can do is sort of turn it up, which isn't all that helpful. If I was gonna properly start compressing, say, vocals or anything in a live situation, I would have a separate compressor to do that with. So the next section we get onto is this bit here, which is the British EQ. Basically what this has is highs, mids, which is you can select your frequency basically for the mids, and lows. So it's although there's 4 knobs, it's a 3-band EQ. So you've got your high, which is fixed at 12 kilohertz, and you can cut or boost by 15 dB. You've then got your mids, which this knob here, what it actually does is it selects the frequency, which I don't know if you can, my camera's not going to focus in on it, but that goes from 100 hertz to 8 kilohertz. So you can really pick what frequency you want to select there, and then either cut or boost it by 15 dB again. And then the low, that's fixed at 80 hertz, which again you can cut or boost by 15 dB. This EQ actually sounds really good, I really do like it. Then you move on to your aux section. Now this has 4 aux sends, 2 are red, 2 are orange. I'll go into why that is in a minute, but effectively you've got your aux 1, aux 2, and these can be switched between pre or post fader. So that's a nice feature. Then you've got aux 3 and 4. Now aux 3, you may notice there, you probably can't read it, but it says FX. That's because aux 3 by default is hardwired into this onboard effects unit that it's got up here, which I'll go over in more detail a bit later. So yeah, so you can either, like, obviously how it's laid out to be is, so you've got 2 aux sends to go to, say, monitor mixers or something like that, and then 2 to go to effects units. So this is nice how they've coloured it out if you were going to use it like that, or you can use it as either 4 effects units, or you could also do 4 monitor sends or anything like that, so that's completely your choice. Then we come on to this black knob down here, which is the pan, so obviously that's pretty simple. You've got hard left, hard right, and anywhere else in the middle that you could ever want. Then the next, we've got this button here, which is a really nice big button that you're not going to sort of like accidentally hit or anything. It's like, you have to specifically want to press it, which is a mute button, and it also has a mute LED, which is this little yellow one here. So it's very easy to visually see which channels are live and which ones are not. And you come down to the faders. These are all, I think they're 60mm faders. I'm not quite sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, they feel really nice. Obviously, I can, like, on my desk, I can really feel the difference between the ones that I've used lots, which are a lot smoother, and the ones that I haven't used as much, which are a bit, well, still firmer. But all in all, they're, well, yeah, they're really good. Obviously, none of them have broken yet. After, yeah, as I said, I think I've had this about a year, coming on to a year now. So, yeah, they all feel really nice. Then we've got, this is where you assign it to which sends you want it to go to. So the first button you've got here is a solo button. It also has this red LED here, will light up when it's soloed, but that also doubles up as a clip LED to tell you when the channel is clipping. So yeah, so you can solo it, and then over here you actually have a button to select whether you want the solo to do normal solo, so you just only listen to what's being soloed, or pre-fader listen to set your levels for the channel. So that's nice that you can switch between what you want to do with it. You then have your main mix, so you can punch it in here and then it will be coming out of the main mix like that. That's one thing that I've seen on some other desks. A lot of desks, you have to either put them into subgroups 1 and 2 or 3 or 4. You can't just put them straight into the main, but this one you can, which I really like, because it means that you can use your subgroups for, well, other things effectively. So yeah, you got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and if you punch it into 1 and 2, as you'll see, it is 1 and 2. You don't have 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's 1 and 2. And say if you only wanted it to come out of subgroup 1 here, what you do is pan it hard left, and then it's only going into subgroup 1. And yeah, and of course, if you want to pan it hard right, then it'll only be coming out of subgroup 2. So that's a nice way of, like, theoretically, you could have 4 different subgroups with different things on each one. So like you could, obviously you wouldn't really be able to fit it all on this desk, so it's slight overkill, but you could theoretically have like drums, guitars, vocals and backing vocals all on different subgroups. So that's a really nice feature, but obviously with only 10 inputs you're going to be hard pushed to get all of that on here. Obviously you could quite easily do it, but yeah. So it's not really so necessary to have 4 subgroups in that way, but if you're using them as just stereo, like so 1 and 2 together and 3 and 4 together, then it's nice to have that. And as you can see, each of the subgroups, these are the buttons for punching them into the left-right mix, and each one has left and right, so you can punch them all in to all be doing a stereo mix into the main mix, or you can do alternate ones, so you have left and right, etc. So yeah, that's a nice feature of it. So that's pretty much the entire, well, I guess the channel side of the desk. So I'll move on to the master section now, which I might put this as a different video, so if it cuts about, well, in a couple of seconds, don't be alarmed. So yeah, okay.